reform in November, and we are now really 3 more days to the voting. You can't have a sudden change of the proposal without actually talking to the people, consulting the people, because then you make the whole consultation meaningless. I mean,
are you saying that you'll need more time then if that...
Now, the government says, well, a lot of the details about this proposal, new proposal, has not been made clear. And the government says, never mind, we can wait till local legislation. But you know, in the local legislation, the Democrats always have the minority.
Or did you agree with the principle that 1 person, 2 votes, that...
Michael, are these 2 votes equal? That's the key point. Because when you...
But the people are going to elect 6 legislators, although they're in functional constituencies, the people are electing them. They're not small circle elections.
Michael, when you talk about equal and universal suffrage, you have to understand that means really what it says. Now, when you then describe these 5 more seats and you say, well, 3 million people elect 5 seats, and that means 600,000 people electing 1 seat.
Right.
Whereas for the current functional constituencies, 100 companies elect 1 seat. Now, that's not being equal and universal, but it will give the appearance of an argument to the functional constituencies members who say, well, we are now reaching universal suffrage because everybody has 2 votes.
Forget about what you call it, whether it's called a functional constituency or whatever. But if everybody can vote for that person, what does it matter what you call it?
Well, 100,000 people vote for 1 seat and 100 people vote for 10 seats. You say, well, that's everybody has a vote. But the essence is whether it's the equal distribution of voting power.
So you don't agree with this?
Well,
you're going to oppose this proposal?
Michael, I am not being stubborn or unreasonable. I'm talking about international universal standards. What it's meant by equal and universal, that means everybody not only has the same number of votes, but then the weighting of the votes are equal. Because you give the people the appearance of universal suffrage by saying, oh, 100,000 people elect 1 seat and 100 people elect 10 seats. Now, that's not the equal distribution of voting power. And it's very important that when you say we're going to reach universal suffrage by 2020, you have to be honest about it. If you say, well, let's wait 10 more years to see what's going to happen down the road, you're not being a responsible government. All I am saying is, I am not saying that give it to me now. I'm saying, well, if you ask me to wait 10 more years, I'm prepared to do it. But tell me, at the end of the day, what I'm going to get is really universal suffrage. Now, is that a radical stance? I'm asking for compliance with international standards.
You want everything up front now. What they're saying is they'll give you things up front in stages.
Well, I am saying, tell me what's going to happen in 2020. Is that an unreasonable thing to ask? Any government, when it makes a promise to people, any government who gives a promise to people have to be accountable.
But Audrey, even your Democratic colleagues in the Democratic Party, even Albert Ho, think this is a good first step and they'll compromise. Why won't you?
Well, everybody can have their reasons for doing so. I've explained my reason. I respect Democratic
Okay, now I've got 3 minutes left. Albert Ho had said here a few weeks ago, if this package doesn't pass, there's going to be a resolution to call for Donald Tsang's resignation in LegCo. Whether that is going to pass or not, I don't know. Ronald R. Kelly, the extra member, was here last week and he said this is not going to pass. Okay, fine. But if it doesn't pass, and then there is going to be a political crisis, Albert Ho said that Hong Kong is going to be even more divisive. There could be a lot of people even angrier than they are now, and this is not going to be good for Hong Kong. So given that, if Hong Kong deteriorates into a political crisis, don't you blame yourself for not supporting this half measure?
2005, government package voted down. Government got a timetable. This time round, if the package is voted down, please, can Donald Tsang get us a roadmap? Now, if the package or a half measure somehow gets through and we are in fact derailed, instead of taking 3 steps to universal suffrage, we are derailed, then in that sense, I do blame myself, because I think that we have to...
You blame yourself for riots that could break out and anger in the streets?
No. I would like the government to see that the people really want a roadmap. And any accountable government, when you say to us, set sail, lift the anchor, you have to give us your line of navigation.
Are you saying you'll risk public anger, discontent, riots in the streets to get your way?
Michael, No, I am not saying that at all. I am saying it's the responsibility of the government. Also, the chief executive, he made an election promise. He said within his term he's going to resolve universal suffrage once and for all. He's got 2 years left of his term, and please, in these 2 years, please get us a roadmap so this can get out of the picture and we can concentrate. We have a roadmap, everybody agrees to that, and we have lots of problems, pollution, education, things got to be settled down, but you need a system. We now have a structural problem, and government is supported by a small circle, and in LegCo he relies on these small circle functional constituencies to get his policy through. If there are riots, and I don't want that to see it.
Do you think it's going to happen?
It's because we have a structural problem. We have a government supported by a small number of people with vested interests. We need broader representation. It's not my fault. I don't want to see that. But it's really the government's duty to make sure that
people agree. But you can help
agree.
Avoid that by saying, okay, I'll compromise with you and move slowly.
You overestimate my influence. I am saying that the Hong Kong public wants equal rights. That is not unreasonable. It's a promise to us in the Basic Law. We are saying that small number of people with vested interests refuse to go. And it's the government's duty to talk sense, to talk fairness, to represent the broader picture Hong Kong people.
And they're not doing that.
They are not doing that. So don't blame me and say, well, you're causing riots. It's the government's policy that is causing discontent.
Okay, we'll stop right there. Thanks for watching Newsline. See you next week. Good evening. Great job.